Currently, our Act for ALS has 217 co-sponsors, nearly half this body, more and more every day. Key to this effort, Madam Speaker, has been the many, many courageous ALS survivors who are advocating for this bill. Now, one of those is 36-year-old Mayuri Saxena. And Colin, if you'll be kind enough to help me with this. I want to show you something, Madam Speaker. 4 years ago, Mayuri was diagnosed with ALS, and today she can no longer stand or walk, use her legs or arms, swallow without help, and she cannot speak. But let's go back to that earlier point I made about Lou Gehrig's durability. This is Mayuri's mind. By communicating with her eyes and telling an artist what she saw, she imagined this beautiful painting. I wanted to just bring it up here because it's quite extraordinary. You could apply it to so many lessons around here. The symbols of our two political parties, the elephant and the donkey, chaining themselves to someone in need. The hope of our great country, our symbol, transcending above. Mayuri sees that as her hope and America's hope. I've never seen something so beautifully and eloquently expressed as a call for these Washington words that we use, like bipartisanship. It's simply a call to care and to compassion and to be smart. This act is well researched. We have gotten technical assistance from the Food and Drug Administration, as well as the National Institute of Health. We have worked with those who are representing and advocating for new movement to figure out the right set of processes by which we, again, can establish a new procedure inside the Department of Health and Human Services and expanded access to treatments. We can do this. And as we're rushing to at the end of the year, we've got a lot of problems. We've got very few days to solve them. Let's solve this one. Madam Speaker, ALS affects 30,000 Americans, 6,000 of whom will die every year from the disease. 1 in 6 of those, by the way, Madam Speaker, is a veteran. One such veteran is Pat Quinn, who our country, through his effort, was socialized and embraced this ice bucket challenge. He thought of that in order to raise global awareness of the brutality of the disease. Pat Quinn just recently died. Madam Speaker, it's been 75 years since Lou Gehrig himself died. There's still no cure, though there are some now promising therapies and drugs. And again, the Act for ALS would allow expanded access now to those promising therapies and drugs. Madam Speaker, I've met so many beautiful people who have come to my office to explain their own journey with ALS. These are people of good heart. They are courageous. They are fighters. They have created a network of solidarity, trying to rethink more creatively as to how to attack, through sound science, the underlying disease. They represent a movement that has a strong desire for the right type of science and a real hope to stop the suffering. Madam Speaker, COVID-19 has shown us one thing. We can act quickly if we want to. We can act quickly if we are determined. I think it's time to apply those lessons to diseases that have silently killed so many for so long. We can create, we have to create a more humane response and a responsive system for those in need, especially for diseases like this, where the time is so narrow. Madam Speaker, 3 years ago It's almost been about 4 now. A young man in his 30s was diagnosed with this disease. He noticed his hand trembling, and he went through a battery of tests, but the moment he noticed that, he knew, for whatever reason, he knew in his heart of hearts it was the worst case scenario. He knew it was ALS. I don't know how he knew, he just knew. And he and his wife struggled and hoped that it would be something else that they could possibly live with. But he died this spring, about 4 years after he contracted disease, leaving behind his wife and his 4 little children. His name was Joe Gregory. He's my wife's little brother. Madam Speaker, for Joe, for the artist, the imaginative artistry of Mayuri, for the memory of Lou Gehrig and Pat Quinn, for all those who are still suffering from this cruel, relentless, unforgiving disease. Let's make hope real. Let's work to get this done. As I said, I've worked and seen so many beautiful people, some of whom have expressed to our office that their wish on their deathbed, communicated through their families, was that this act would pass. When I reflect on that, Madam Speaker, again, we've got numerous other problems here. We've got to get a budget done. We have to avoid a government shutdown. We probably ought to come together on a new COVID-type relief package. I'm working on that too. But how could I not speak? Why did I read a book on Lou Gehrig when I was 8 years old that stayed with me all these years? I don't know. But how could I not speak on behalf of these beautiful people who just want us to do the right thing? Not out of anger, not out of protest, out of solidarity, to show that we can get things done because we care. And when we act with our will and resolve, we can help. One more thing, Madam Speaker, before I leave you. I keep reflecting on those words of Lou Gehrig. I don't suffer from ALS. I don't pretend to know the profound difficulty that causes in those individuals' hearts. But I can say this. I believe I'm also the luckiest man alive because I get to stand with people like this and try to help. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for listening. I yield back.
It's back.